I don't know if you're watching Love Island USA, but if I had a nickel for every time I was Serena in the conversation with Cordell, where she's like, so what are your long-term goals? And he's like, what do you mean by that? And then she's like, your goals. And he's like, oh, well, I'm really trying to get into acting and, like, modeling. And then he does his brick by brick monologue, which is hilarious, objectively hilarious. And then she's like, is that it? And he's like, well, I really want to get a house. And then starts complaining about how expensive a house is. That, if I had a nickel for every conversation with a man that goes like, what do you want to do? Something that most people who do this field are narcissistic and kind of annoying and not generally very kind or attentive. But I'm just trying to get into that. We'll see. But I know I want a house. But it's so expensive, like, there, and then they list off the expenses like you don't already pay for your. I could go on a tangent for 5 months about this. What a guy will give you each bill on a list that you already pay for yourself, and he doesn't. Sorry. So many men are not like that, okay? But the ones who are quite loud and quite repetitive. And so, sometimes they're really cute. But then they're like, you gotta pay for gas. You gotta pay for her nails. You gotta pay for her hair. You gotta, wow, we've been here before. That was not an intentional dot connection, by the way. Anyways, yeah, whenever guys start to, like, actually it's a thing. Like, I can remember this time I was in a club and for some reason my friend wanted to talk to these 2 guys and they were like a little bit older, not like crazy older, but a little bit older. And somehow we get in a conversation about how he thinks my rent is too high and blah, 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 bills in this city, blah, blah, blah. Oh, did you know this is... Yes, I know. I pay for it. Like, and it's just... Wah, 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 wah. Why are we talking about this? Talk about how you can solve my bills. Don't list bills like I'm not a taxpayer. I am a tax-paying citizen. There is nothing more attractive than you complaining about bills that I pay. Like, shut up. And it's worse when they, like, live rent-free somewhere and they're complaining about, like, the expenses of rent. And I'm like, bitch, I know. I would know. You wouldn't. All I'm saying is, Serena, I felt this in this conversation. And you know what? The thing is, if guys like Cordell could just learn what not to say, or just to say less. The thing is, though, that's how a lot of guys get in relationships like that, because sometimes if you don't ask them the right questions, they seem completely normal and, like, really just, like, cute. But Serena's asking the right questions. She said, this cracked me up when she was like, so do you listen to any podcasts? Like, any male podcasters? And he was like, no, like, I always want to get into podcasts, but I don't really know where to start. What an adorable sweetheart answer. Like, what a cute answer. And then he's like, why? Do you have any recommendations? And she's like, no, that was a test. That was a good test. I would steal that. But that went over his head. He didn't know what she was talking about. It was really darling. It was really quite adorable.